Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing the best fragrance discoveries I made in 2022, and it was when I was filming my recent best and worst new launches of the year that I got inspired to create this video as well, because I added so many incredible fragrances to my collection last year, but they weren't necessarily new launches, they were just new to me. So some of these have been around for a while, but they all instantly became favorites in my collection, so they deserve a little spotlight. I have 15 fragrances here to talk about. These are in no particular order, but I am starting with the fragrance that I wore yesterday. I haven't sprayed anything to be my scent of the day today because I knew I was going to be smelling a lot of fragrances. This is Jardin de Misfa from Unwi Nomad. This I wore out with a friend. We were capturing some content, taking photos and videos because I wanted to post about this fragrance as like a little fragrance feature spotlight on Instagram. And when I was out with my friend Amelia, she said, whatever that fragrance is, it smells amazing. And I always love wearing new fragrances out when I'm going to see other people, out with friends, because I always like to play a little social experiment. I'll always try a new fragrance just to see if anybody says anything. Occasionally it doesn't work and I hear crickets, but yesterday it was so nice to hear somebody get really excited about this fragrance as well, because it is truly special. I think it's amazing. This is my particular fragrance preference. I mean, this is the type of fragrance that was made for me. It launched in 2019. Keynotes include cardamom, nutmeg, dates, rose, almond, and saffron. It's listed as unisex, but I think this leans incredibly feminine. I would consider this to be more of a princessy perfume. It's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. It has those really yummy edible notes. Kind of a gourmand floral with just a hint of spice, probably the nutmeg. And I wouldn't assign a season to this fragrance either. I think you can wear this all year. You could wear this anytime. It's a little bit warm and sensual and gourmand, but not so heavy that it's a fall winter fragrance. I could wear this anytime in Miami. It's already so hot outside, but I loved wearing this yesterday. I think this is so special, and it makes me very happy to know that other people also really like it as well. It kind of reaffirmed what I already knew about this fragrance. It's incredible. I have two favorite discoveries from the brand Sora Dora, and I looked it up. Both of these launched in 2021, so they just missed the cut. I had never heard of this brand before, but they offered to send me a couple fragrances complimentary. I let them know my taste, the type of fragrances that I generally love, and they sent me two winners. I mean, I shouldn't really be surprised. I couldn't tell you which one of these I love more. They are both amazing. This is Mandorle and Orchidée Rouge. Both are somewhat syrupy and gourmand. Mandorle has keynotes of almond, cherry, tonka bean, benzaldehyde, rum, caramel, with a woody, leathery base. I think the bottles are also really beautiful, and I remember unboxing these and being very impressed. They also come with a little polishing cloth. Cherry, almond, it's a touch powdery, and the leather is more of a suede. It's not really heavy and moody. This is the type of fragrance that instantly gives you that boost of confidence whenever you wear it, because you know you smell incredible. High heels, head held high, it's so unapologetically powerful. And it also smells just very chic, fashionable. If this was a designer fragrance more readily available, it would be a bestseller, no question about it. Orchidée Rouge, on the other hand, has a white flower almond accord with maltol, heliotrope, cherry, ylang-ylang, vanilla, and milky notes in the base. It also has almond, but overall it's a bit more floral. But so pretty! I cannot get over these fragrances. A little cherry, a little almond, a little floral, a little vanilla. Just so many good things, so many of my favorite notes that I enjoy in other fragrances, but it's if somebody finally said, hey, you know all of those things that everyone really loves? Why don't we put them all together in one fragrance? Genius. It's so unique, and the dry down is incredibly addicting on the skin. You just don't want to stop smelling yourself because it will smell so good. Just like beautiful, delicious, vanilla, clean skin. It's also very clean. And I think this would be a safe blind buy. It's unique, but it's still very wearable, and I think it's the type of fragrance that would just have mass appeal. If you like the sound of the notes for either of these fragrances, and you're in the market for a new perfume, I say go for it. Next up is Cherry Punk by Room 1015. I love this fragrance. This launched in 2020, but I noticed this year it really started making the rounds. The word finally got out about this fragrance because a lot of people have been talking about it this year, and deservedly so. And you'll notice that all of these fragrances, at least so far, have been niche fragrances. I do have a couple designer fragrances on the list. I'll talk about those last, but that's really because there aren't a lot of designer fragrances that exist that I haven't at least heard of. Probably because I used to work in cosmetics, so I used to smell everything designer that came into the store. But if you love cherry and you love leather and you love a very unique, cool, not too sweet, kind of rock and roll fragrance, this is for you. Top notes are cherry, saffron, and Sichuan pepper. Middle notes are mimosa, violet, and jasmine. Base notes are leather, tonka bean, and patchouli. I think we can all agree that cherry is certainly having a moment in the world of fragrances. I see it everywhere, which I love. It always used to be one of those notes that was so unique, and now there are a lot of cherry fragrances. It's so smooth, it's very elegant, and a really delicious, mouth-watering, addicting, I want to keep smelling it type of cherry. It's not too tart, not too artificial, and the leather is perfect. It's not too much. It doesn't make it a masculine fragrance. It's kind of like wearing a cool leather jacket. And I love that it comes in this bright, bold lipstick red bottle because that is what comes to mind. Just this pop of red, maybe a red lipstick, definitely high heels, maybe a leather jacket. That could be too literal. I think this has plenty of leather. A very chic look head to toe, and this would be the perfect final accessory. I have two favorite discoveries here from Flores London, and both of these are at least 10 years old, but I just discovered the brand last year, so they're new for me. Cherry Blossom and Cyrina, and if you watch a lot of my fragrance videos, you know I've talked about these ad nauseum, but here we go again. Cherry Blossom I often mention as being my all-time favorite cherry blossom fragrance. There was a point last year around springtime that I was just on a hunt to find the perfect cherry blossom fragrance. I love the note, and I didn't have anything in my collection that was cherry blossom, and I tried a lot, including Jo Malone, Guerlain. I have 2 fragrances from Guerlain, but this is hands down my favorite. It's just the perfect cherry blossom fragrance. It's clean, it's fresh, it's not too singular. I mean, it does smell like a fresh bouquet, but cherry blossom is the star of the show. It's the hero of the fragrance, and I find myself grabbing this all the time because it's always appropriate. If you're going to school, to the doctors, to see whoever, doesn't matter what you're up to, you can always spritz this on and it's not offensive. You know, you smell fresh, you smell light. It's a very happy, mood boosting type of fragrance. It's so wearable. So easy grab. I will definitely have a huge dent in this by the end of the year. Cyrina is very fresh, floral, and aquatic. Keynotes include seawater, bergamot, pink pepper, jasmine, red berries, peony, oleander, rose, musk, and sandalwood. Cyrina translates to mermaid, and that is exactly how I would describe this fragrance. It's a mermaid perfume. It's perfect for spring, summer. It is definitely a Miami fragrance. It's fresh and clean and aquatic, but still has that pop, a little zing, a little tart, maybe from the red berries, the bergamot. It's like, wow. It still has that wow factor. There are very few aquatic fragrances that really move me. This was an instant, oh my goodness, what is that? I have to have that. Just love at first sniff. And I know I talked about it quite a bit, and I heard from a lot of you guys who purchased this fragrance, and maybe it was a blind buy, but you also really like Cyrina. Perfect for daytime, signature scent worthy. It's not really like a tropical vacation type of fragrance. It's not coconutty, it's not beachy, but it just smells oceanic in the loveliest, perfect way. I did not think aquatic fragrances could be this beautiful. Perigrina by Flores London was another love at first sniff. Definitely my style of fragrance. And I looked it up. This launched in 2019. It smells so feminine, very classy, sweet. Keynotes include damask rose, jasmine, gardenia, lily of the valley, caramel, vanilla, amber, myrrh, ylang ylang, powdery notes, and white musk. I'd describe it as a sweet candied rose with a little warmth, a little sensuality from the caramel and the musk. The dry down is so beautiful, and it's very delicate. It has a dazzling, sparkling quality to it. Just smells very luxurious and a bit opulent. I would wear this for a date night or a weekend. It's more of an evening or special occasion fragrance, in my opinion. Although maybe it's best not to wait and just to enjoy it, because it really is beautiful and it would be a shame to save this for special occasions. I have two fragrances here from Villum Perfumery, Mango Skin and Poets of Berlin. I have heard so much buzz about both of these fragrances. I think in the niche fragrance world, these are very popular, very well-known fragrances. In fact, Poets of Berlin, I know, was sold out for a really long time on the Twisted Lily website. They just couldn't keep it in stock. I find these fragrances to be very bold, powerful, great projection. If I had to choose a favorite, it would be a toss-up. Very difficult to narrow it down. I really love Do Not Disturb. Dear Polly is a great tea fragrance. Moon Carnival is a very whimsical fragrance. But Poets of Berlin is probably my favorite of these two just because it is so unique. It's a little bit tart, jammy. There's a little bit of like a zing right away. It has blueberry and lemon. Keynotes include blueberry, lemon, bamboo, orris, vanilla, sandalwood, and vetiver. Unique is the word that comes to mind, and I remember there was so much buzz about this fragrance. I tried a sample, and I really wasn't sure how I felt about it. I knew I liked it, but I don't know. At first, there is a little bit of a bitter quality, which I don't love, but in the dry down, it goes away, thankfully. And the more you smell it, it becomes a little bit addicting. It's one that lures you in because you smell it and it's so unlike anything else. Gets you thinking, like, what is that? What is in this fragrance that I can't quite put my finger on? It has a little mystery, which I think is really nice. Mango Skin is a fruity floral fragrance with keynotes of mango, of course, orange, violet, frangipani, mango blossom, ylang ylang, black currant, musk, and red wine. Like Cyrina, I think this is a great Miami fragrance. Oh, yes, because it's fruity, it's a little bit tropical, it's very luscious. Like mouth-watering, fresh fruit salad with a little je ne sais quoi. There's definitely more going on. It's not straight mango, although it is pretty sweet right away. But it just smells like a very niche, craft, artisanal fragrance. There's a complexity there that is so nice, and the dry down is so beautiful. I like to wear this fragrance layered on top of the Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom Cream. That combination is so good. I also have two new discoveries here from Xerjoff. The first is Lyra, which was a pretty late addition to my collection actually, and then Dolce Amalfi. I don't remember the first time I actually smelled Lyra, but it was one that I knew I liked right away, but it was just a matter of time before I added it to my collection. I'm so happy it's here because it's beautiful and it's sweet, it's vanilla, it has some cinnamon, some citrus notes in there, and it's very wearable and sexy. It launched in 2011. Keynotes include blood orange, bergamot and lavender, cinnamon, licorice, jasmine, caramel, vanilla, and musk. It's kind of crazy to me that this launched so long ago, 2011, because it smells so modern and it's still so popular. That is really difficult to do. A little citrus, a little sweetness, and vanilla. Reminds me a little bit of Sublime Vanille from Creed, except that one is a little bit more light, fluffy, whereas this one has a little bit more power, a little oomph to it. It's a great date night fragrance, weekend fragrance. I'm sure all of the niche fragrance lovers in the crowd are well versed with Lyra because this one has been a crowd favorite for a long time. I'm so happy I finally have it. Now, Dolce Amalfi is a little bit more polarizing, which I did not expect. I love this fragrance. This to me was wow, amazing, head turning. And I haven't worn it as much as some of the other fragrances, but I have worn it. I really like it. Some people really love it, other people really dislike this fragrance, and I think it's probably because it's maybe a little bit too sweet right away. It can be cloying. I think this smells like spiced cider. The apple, the clove, the cinnamon, the juicy citrus notes. It's so juicy, like juicy fruit. It really is like juicy fruit. Or spiced apple cider. It kind of reminds me of the holidays, like the holidays on the Amalfi Coast. This reminds me of vacation because I cannot help but picture like bronzed skin laying out by the beach. I feel like this would be a White Lotus fragrance. It also has vanilla in the dry down. It's not going to be for everybody, but if you love vanilla, spicy fragrances, apple, and citrus, I think it is worth trying and wearing on your skin. We're finally down to the last niche fragrance. The last three are designer. This is from L'Orchestra Parfums. It's Piano Santal. This is for all of my sandalwood lovers. It's very much Santal. If you like sandalwood and you like smooth, woody fragrances, then this will be perfect for you. It has a little creamy dreaminess. It's not my typical style, and it's not the type of fragrance that I'm going to get a ton of use out of. Like some of the other fragrances we talked about, I could wear them every single day and be happy. This is not something that I'm going to grab a lot, but that doesn't mean I don't think it's really special. This was my first introduction to the brand. They actually sent over 2 fragrances. This is my favorite. Ideal Bouquet was the other one, a beautiful floral fragrance. I'm excited for spring because that one will be really nice. But I think of the 2, this one just pulls me in and kind of piques my interest a little bit more. Another favorite brand discovery from last year, Celine Fragrances. These have been around for a while and I've heard so much about them, but I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to look to be able to find these fragrances. That's the one thing that kind of breaks my heart because I would love to just shout from the rooftops how amazing these fragrances are, but it's a little frustrating when you can't go to your local Saks or Nordstrom or one of the bigger department stores to find them. They do have these in my local Celine boutique, so if you're lucky enough to live near a Celine boutique, call ahead. Hopefully they have the fragrances. They probably do in all of the boutiques. They do offer samples with each fragrance purchase online, but I know it's a lot of money to spend on a fragrance if you don't know whether or not you're going to like it. Black Tie was my all-time favorite of the bunch. I actually picked up, Black Tie was my first full bottle. I also got the little Discovery set. I'm looking over here because all of my fragrances are along the wall. But even of the Discovery set, I also really like Dom Perry. I imagine that's going to be my second full-size bottle. And I may pick it up soon. I don't know. I need to go visit the boutique again, actually, and sniff around. They have some new launches. Black Tie is a beautiful woody vanilla fragrance. It's very smooth. It has orris, butter, and vanilla. Kind of smells like a cream soda or a little bit like root beer. Kind of a mix between cream soda and root beer. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's dreamy, and it's very elegant. Black Tie is the perfect name for this fragrance. It smells sophisticated, very luxe, a little bit understated, buttoned up, but very chic. What I love about Black Tie, and the reason I went with this one first, is that it's not too heavy. So this is a really great Miami fragrance. You could wear this year round. I could wear this right now and I wouldn't feel like it was too much. Sometimes a deeper vanilla fragrance or something that's really woody and vanilla, it's not going to smell right. If I wear it out of the house and it's 90 degrees outside and I'm sweating and I just kind of feel gross, I'm not going to appreciate it. But something like this, it's light enough that you could wear this daytime. Very wearable. I stand by the statement I made when I first reviewed that fragrance that Celine is definitely the most underrated designer fragrance house. Underrated because I think nobody really knows about them. So as soon as they work on their distribution, I think they will truly take off. So my next designer favorite, Sea Passion from Giorgio Armani. I know I've told this story before, but I had a sample of this from a long time ago. I think I found the sample, remembered how much I loved it, and then I purchased the travel spray. But when I purchased the travel spray, I took it with me on vacation. I was wearing it a lot. My husband would always compliment this fragrance. He loves this one. And that's when I knew I needed to just go ahead and invest in the full-size bottle. It's special. It's a real wow fragrance. It's a little fruity, floral, but it's really passionate. I think passion is the perfect name for this fragrance. This is very sexy, romantic date night. It would be a great Valentine's Day fragrance. If you have any Valentine's Day plans. Galentine's Day even. Keynotes include pear, blackcurrant, pink pepper, grapefruit, pineapple, rose, jasmine, heliotrope, vanilla, cedar, amberwood, and patchouli. It gives me tropical vibes. Like island vacation, pina colada, tropical drink. It doesn't really have coconut and pineapple. It does have pineapple, at least according to Fragrantica. It's just nice. Mouth-watering fruit salad, but make it fancy. I love it. And then last but certainly not least, this little baby bottle of a fragrance and my very first Hermès fragrance. This is Tuiles de Hermès Eau Poivrée. I don't know what that is, but it definitely has patchouli in it, rose. And I think I figured it out. I think it reminds me of Chanel fragrances. It's very nice. This was such an interesting discovery for me because I think I had gone looking for just new fragrances. I was sniffing around. This was not new. I don't know why I tried this to begin with. I've never really been a fan of Tuiles or any of the interpretations I've ever smelled, but something said, go ahead and try this little guy. The keynotes are pink pepper, rose, and patchouli, so not outrageously unique, and I wouldn't necessarily say this is that unique of a fragrance. I mean, it definitely smells like it is in the designer world, but I really like it. And it's kind of clean and fresh. I think this is a really pretty daytime fragrance. This to me says, businesswoman, no nonsense. I imagine like CEOs wear a fragrance like this. I don't know what it is about it. PTA mom, somebody who runs the show. Whoever is head of the household, this is the type of fragrance that they would wear. I kind of like it. It's bossy. I think it is so pretty. I'm really happy I added this to my collection. I think this is the only size. This is a little 30 ml. Yes, it's a little 30 ml. That's all they had, which is fine because I didn't necessarily want a huge bottle of fragrance. It's very cute, and I like how it has the little twilly scarf around the top. Kind of looks like a little top hat on the fragrance. Unlike Celine, or kind of the polar opposite of Celine, I kind of think Hermès needs to step up their fragrance game. Let me know, am I missing out? Does Hermès have an incredible fragrance somewhere that I don't know about? I've tried most all of them, and I've never really been a huge fan of the fragrances. Maybe I'm missing something. And that completes my list of best new discoveries of 2022. Overall, between the new discoveries and the new launches, I think it was a really great year for fragrance, and we're starting to pick up steam. I've heard of a lot of new launches in the works that I am so excited for. I am waiting to get my hands on Valaya from Parfum de Marly. I'm waiting until it comes to a local department store. I like to smell it first before I spend several $100s on it. I have splurged on some blind buys that were your recommendations, so I will be unboxing those shortly as soon as they arrive. I cannot wait. But thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing my list. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.